Word of God and to represent who they represent. And so they take it very serious. So we are going to be supportive, right? As my wonderful Wendy Chapman comes up here and tells me.
She says I have to hold it. That's okay, I'll hold it. She's right. She's asked me several times to give my testimony, and I've said, no, not going to do it, not going to do it. A couple of months ago, I was at church. I went on Sunday night. I don't always go on Sunday nights. And me and my sister went. Teen Challenge was there, and they were giving testimonies. And at the end of the service, my pastor says, I need Wendy Chapman to come up. And I was like, what is he doing? Why is he calling me up there? And so I got up there and he said, she has a prayer she wants to pray. And I looked at him and I said, I do? He said, yep, you do. I was like, oh. So I prayed. I don't remember anything I said. I don't think I took one breath the whole time. I was a nervous wreck. But I know that's God.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
He's telling me to share. And I fought him tooth and nail. And I'm like, okay, Lord. So then right after that, my former mother-in-law that still thinks she's my mother-in-law says she wants me to speak at her sorority function next month. And I was like, okay. So he's going to make me do it whether I want to or not. So I feel just do it. I wrote my testimony down. I wasn't sure if I wanted to just wing it or write it, but I feel like I'll be all over the place if I don't have some kind of direction. So my childhood was very leave it to beaver. My mom stayed at home. My dad worked. I was an only child and an only grandchild for 8 years, which probably explains why I'm such a brat. Everybody that meets me thinks I'm an only child. I'm not. I have a little sister, but she's 8 years younger than me, so I wasn't an only child for a long time, and I guess I just kind of held on to that. My parents started fighting a lot when I was around 11, 12 years old. I didn't know at the time what it was about. I do now, but it got worse and worse and worse. And when I was 14, I asked them to get divorced. I sat them down and I was like, y'all need to get divorced. You're driving me crazy. My little sister would hide in her closet, and it was bad. Slamming doors, cussing, fighting. So they got divorced. We had to sell my house that I had grown up in, and I was not happy about it. We moved in with my grandmother, and she, one afternoon I came in from school, and I was getting my little sister to run upstairs 15 times for me and my best friend, and my grandmother got mad, and she came down there and started, saying stuff to me, and I was dropped an F-bomb, and she just tripped out and started just beating me. I don't mean I was little. She's mad. And of course, I was like, well, we're going to live here. So I went to my dad's work, made them call him out of work. He worked at U.S. Steel. And I was like, I'm moving in with you. He said, okay, when? I said, today, right now. He said, okay. So I lived with him. I was 16. I started drinking when I was 12. Not just all the time, just experimenting. I started smoking pot when I was 14. I did smoke pot every day until I was about 27. Every day. From 14 to 27. I drank some on the weekends. Nothing really, not a lot. Just, teenager, experimental type stuff. When I was 16, I tried Coke for the first time. And had sex that same night for the first time. So I had a couple of firsts in that night. And me and my best friend would buy a little bit here and there, and I found out that the cocaine I was buying was coming from my dad. Yeah. My dad, who I had never seen smoke a cigarette, drink a beer, anything, decided in his midlife crisis, which he wasn't actually midlife yet, he was going to be a cocaine dealer. And he wasn't a little nickel and dime cocaine dealer, he was a big cocaine dealer. We always had lots of kilos of cocaine in the garage in the back of the house. You know, I had cars, credit cards, Chevron accounts. I was used to getting whatever I wanted. And if I didn't get it, I would pay you to get it. If I went to a restaurant and there was a long line, here, take this 50 and let me sit where I want to sit. So I was used to getting my way. And I didn't care about anything, I just wanted my way. Let me see. I don't want to miss something. From the time I was 17 until I was 19, I did coke just about every day. My dad bought a hair salon and opened it up for me and my friends so we could work cocaine all day. And so that's what I did. I still smoked pot. I still drank some. And I took a few pills here and there, but not a whole lot. I met my first husband around the time that I was 16. And me and him were just really good friends for a pretty good while. Talking about my former mother-in-law ago, I started going to her house for Christmas when I was 16, and I've been every year except for one. So we're very close. And she loves me. A whole lot. I went to Hawaii for my senior trip. My dad sent me and my best friend. So when I tell y'all that I was a brat, I was a brat. I got what I wanted. I took care of my dad though. I, washed his clothes, made sure he got up for work, made his lunches. He worked different shifts, so sometimes that meant coming in at 9 o'clock to get him up for work, just whatever. He was like a big kid, really. He's still like a big kid. When he first started dealing, he just snorted, but he eventually started smoking crack. And so that kind of took him down pretty fast. I started working at a law firm in Birmingham, and I got married to Tim in March of 1990. I had been telling my dad that he was they're watching you. You're going to get busted. You're going to get busted. No. And I don't know if he was just in denial or if he just didn't believe me, but he did. That May after I got married, he got busted for drug trafficking. And of course, you'll know who he called, me. I had a lot on me. So I got him out of jail. He continued to smoke crack a little bit longer, but not much longer. The law firm that I worked for, I went in the next day freaking out, and they were like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "My dad got arrested for trafficking cocaine." And they were like, "Okay, we probably need to go to our offices about this." And they got him a lawyer, free, so he got probation. It ended up being dropped to just a possession charge, which, that was on God. I went to the doctor shortly after all this stuff was going on, and my nerves were shot, obviously. They put me on Xanax, and I took them for 20 years. I got divorced in 1995. I got married way too young for all the wrong reasons. A lot of it, I think, was to get out of the house because I knew my dad was fixing to get arrested. And we stayed together for 2 more years though after we divorced. We bought a house. Yeah, backwards a little bit. If any of y'all know me, y'all know that I hate change. So I think I was scared to let go of what was comfortable, even if it wasn't right. So sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. Kind of like I am right now. My 27th birthday, I moved out. That was September the 9th, 97. And on 9/23, I was already in another relationship. I was one of those people that felt like they always needed a man in their life. And I did need a man in my life. Jesus Christ was who I needed in my life. But I didn't see that at the time. This guy, I went to school with him. I knew who he was, didn't really know him. And I stayed with him for a little over 6 years. And he was married for 3 of those years. He told me that he was going through a divorce, which wasn't true. He ended up going through a divorce, probably because of me, but and he cheated on me. And he was physically abusive. He was emotionally abusive. And he really beat me down. Not just the physical part. Most of y'all know I'm kind of feisty sometimes, so I didn't mind condoning him right back. When I was 28, I started taking more attached to migraines, and so the Xanax and the Lord tried together were just what I thought I needed. It was just I felt like Superwoman. I felt like I could do anything. I could work, keep the house up, deal with him being an idiot, and that I would be just fine. He was an alcoholic. And so, y'all can imagine that was not a good combination. I worked several different jobs while I was with him. A lot of it was because I brought our relationship into the middle of everything, because I would be so just emotionally frazzled that I couldn't separate it. Or he would either want me to quit my job so I could stay home for the summer and keep this little girl who came from Florida. I checked myself into Hillcrest at one point because I felt like I was losing my mind. The attorney that I was working for said, "Honey, you're not losing your mind. You need to leave Craig. You'll be okay." I didn't. I used to crush up Xanax and put them in his dreams. If he was in one of his moods, so he'd pass out, I wouldn't have to fight with him. It's probably against the law, I'm not sure. He owned his own business, and I took care of all the bills. I paid the bills, made all the deposits, and he accused me of stealing from him at one point, and I hadn't. But I started after that. I think because it really crushed me because of everything that I was dealing with and going through with him. And I'm like, really? I started depositing his company checks for his company into my personal checking account. And at the end of a year, I had gone through over $100,000 shopping, just buying stuff. Not anything, not a car, not a house, nothing that, I can hang on to, just stuff. Clothes, shoes, purses, home decor, candles, whatever. Just shopping. Shopping all the time. I was trying to fill that Jesus hole in my heart with stuff.
Yeah.
Don't work. He just swore that I had a big nest egg somewhere, and I didn't. My mom worked at the credit union where I banked, and he threatened to have her fired and be put in jail for embezzlement, and so that's how he controlled me for a little while longer. Finally, in June of 2003, I left. I found out that he was still going to spend time with his ex-wife, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I left a sticky note on the bathroom mirror, packed my stuff, and left at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was in June, and of course, guess what, y'all? I moved another guy in my house right after I moved out from him. Because I thought I had to have a guy. I needed that to be complete. I did need a guy to be complete. Jesus.
Yeah.
Still didn't know that yet. I didn't accept Jesus when I was 8 years old. And I know that I was saved at that point. I also know that, the church I went to a private school, they didn't teach you about a relationship. They just taught you about being saved and being damned to hell. And fire and brimstone, and if you don't do this, you're gonna burn. So I didn't know about having a relationship with him. I lived with several different guys. I caught a bunch of possession charges, a whole bunch, over the next few years. I completed drug court 2 times, 3 years of probation. I have more felonies than probably a lot of y'all put together. I had 26 bad checks and 8 possession charges at one time in front of Judge Fancher. I had 34 files that I were in at one time. That's a lot. I should have gone to prison. In 2008, I went to Pearson Hall, which is a 28-day secular program. I was living with my mom and my stepdad, and I was going to church, doing Bible study. I was doing really good. And then in 2008, my little sister's husband died. He had cancer. And I was so glad that, not that he died, but that I was clean and I could be there for her. And so I moved in with her, and we started smoking pot. She smoked pot. I just started smoking pot again. We started going to church, and it just kind of, it's like that song, Slow Fade. It is a slow fade.
Yeah.
You just kind of start a little bit at a time doing, missing things. I had a mini stroke at work, and it just really freaked me out. And so I talked to the doctor, and they put me on Klonopin. And I convinced my sister that it's all Xanax, I'll be fine. You can hold on, you'll be fine. It wasn't fine. I was calling prescriptions in again. I called prescriptions in I started in like 1990. So I called them in for a long time. This is 2008, 2009. I was calling prescriptions in her name, using her insurance. I had done the same with my dad's. I had prescriptions all over town in various names, for various insurances, and there's nothing but God's grace that all of that stuff didn't come back on me. I've spent time in Pleasant Grove Jail, Newtown Jail, Midville Jail, Bessemer Jail, Jefferson County. I spent 60 days in Jefferson County, which was the longest stay that I had. I caught some new charges in 2009, and I appeared in court, and Judge Fancher sentenced me to 10 years of tow. He told me he didn't want to hear what I had to say. He didn't want to hear my lawyer. He was done. He had given me chance after chance after chance, and I will do all of them. My sister had thrown me out on my 39th birthday, and I didn't have anywhere to go. She didn't care. Don't blame her. She shouldn't have. I stayed with my dad for a while, in and out. His house, or I might get to go to my mom's for a night. Me and my stepdad weren't exactly BFFs, and so, that wasn't a good place for me to go either. I wrecked my car in 2009 too. I was all filled up. I was going to work. It's about 4 in the morning, and I flipped my car 3 times, end over end. I was upside down in the car, and it was not good. They took me by ambulance to the hospital, but y'all, I didn't have a scratch. Not one scratch. There was no glass left in the car. All of it was busted out. Nothing. I didn't have one cut. My mom met us at the hospital, and she went and looked at the car after she came up there. And she was like, I don't know how you're alive. You can't even tell what kind of car it is. It was a little Mitsubishi Eclipse. And I know that was God protecting me.
Yes.
He had a plan.
Yes.
And he needed me to get with it.
Yes.
But while I ain't ready yet, though, my attorneys appealed my case up, and it went to circuit court. She ended up giving me a 15-year split, 2 years probation, which means 2 years probation completed, then I don't have to go to prison for the 15. I got arrested 4 more times between December of 09 and April of 10. nothing but God could have kept me from going to prison.
Yes.
I had a really, really wonderful probation officer, Officer Vance. And every month I'd go report and he'd say, well, you passed your drug test? I'd say, no, sir. He'd say, you ready to get help yet? No, sir. He'd say, okay, I'll see you next month. And I think he was just giving me just enough rope to either change or hang myself. I ended up living at an extended stay hotel in Bessemer. One of the pastors from my church paid for me a week, and he said, this is all I can do. And so I just had to, get the money from whoever, however. And I lived there until I came here on April 21st, 2010. I came in high as a kite. I'd taken about 90 Xanaxes in less than 24-hour period before I came, because I wanted to, it was the last time I was going to be able to take them, I wanted to take a lot. I was feeling great when I came in here. I didn't necessarily know anything about the Lovelady Center. I just knew that I needed somewhere to stay, have a roof over my head. I needed somewhere to stay. But God knew. He knew exactly where I was going. He ordained this time before I was born. He knew every wrong turn I would take. And he still created me anyway.
Yes.
He loved me unconditionally.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't change immediately. It took time. I wasn't ready, really. I just wanted somewhere to live. When I came to the center, my sister wasn't talking to me. My daddy brought me up here, and he wouldn't even get out the truck. He said, get your shit and get out. That's what he told me. And I was like, okay. They were done. My mom, thank the Lord, never got done.
Yes.
But there was a little distance between us. She had to. She didn't know what else to do. In 2007, I met this guy in a bar while I was on a date with another guy. He took me home that night, and we dated briefly. He was going through a divorce, and he had two little girls that were really devastated about their parents not being together. And so he said, look, we can't do this right now. I said, okay, which is a God thing because, I would have taken down through there. I know what would happen. And he might have taken me down through there too, I don't know. So in December of 2013, I got a Facebook message from his sister. And he said their mom had some stuff that she wanted to donate to the thrift store. And I said, oh, well, I just moved back out to Pleasant Grove. I'll just run by there and get it. Well, he was living there. I didn't know that at the time. And I came back to work that Thursday, and I think I asked everybody that would listen to me if I should call him or not. And I got a mixed bag. I got a bunch of yeses and a bunch of no's. And I said, we don't have that number. So I called him on Friday. And he called me back. And I was like a 10-year-old little girl. It was good. I came to work that Monday. I went to see him on Sunday after I called him Friday. I came in and I said, I'm going to marry him. They were like, you're crazy. I said, I'm telling you, I know I am. He came up here and met Miss Brenda and Melinda and all the gang upstairs, and they seemed to really like him, and I did marry him. On April 21st, 2013. I picked that day because that was the day 3 years ago that I walked in here. I know that had I not come here, I wouldn't be able to to have a marriage because I would still be that selfish brat that I still can be sometimes. God led me here. He knew exactly what he was doing. I started listening in my classes. I worked in kids zone, believe it or not, because y'all know I'm not a big kid fan. And slowly God started to change me, but I had to let him. He's waiting. He wants you. But you gotta be willing to surrender. You gotta surrender all of it. You can't surrender just what you want to surrender. You gotta surrender it all. I graduated October 22nd, 2010. It was a 6-month program then. I started working the third floor desk in November, and I told Brenda I wanted to be a client rep. She said, okay. Okay. And in January of 2011, I became a client rep.
You're my client.
I remember when I was a client sitting down here watching the client reps up there doing their rosters, and I thought, oh, they got it all together. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. We don't struggle with drugs anymore, but we struggle with a whole lot of other stuff. Because we're human, just like you guys. We still live in this fallen world. We still live in this fleshly body, and we're just striving to be more like Jesus every day. And there are days that I fall real short, real short. We're all still works in progress. We have all been, in bondage to sin, every one of us. When Melinda started asking us to do our testimonies, she said a lot of girls don't know about y'all, and I guess I just assume y'all all know our stories, but you don't. Looking back at my life, I can see God in so many ways. I can see how He placed people in my life that would be used to show His mercy and His favor. When I was 10 years old, my mom got called to jury duty. She got put on a murder trial of a police officer, and she was locked up for about 2 weeks because they couldn't talk to anybody. And during that time, she met a young law clerk who would later be my prosecuting district attorney. Yeah, she's crazy. He processed so many cases for me and made so many recommendations to Judge Painter for me not to go to prison. It's crazy. When I was around that same age, my dad introduced me to my Uncle Bo. A lot of y'all heard me talk about him. He's my godfather. He's really my godfather, y'all. And him and the family of the judge are very close. So that was just another way that, God put somebody in my life to show me favor. I met an attorney in 1995, worked at a hair salon, and he represented me every time I had a case for free. And he was a pretty powerful criminal attorney in Birmingham. Never charged me a dime. In my addiction, I met a narcotics detective that through my arrest, somehow we formed some kind of friendship. Nothing sexual, y'all. So, everybody always thinks it's something. It's not. A lot of times it's just God's favor. They don't even know it. He would come get me out of different jails for either possessions or shoplifting or whatever. And, he said, I just want you to change your life. I just want you to get it together. I did. It just took a long time. And I've seen him since. And, he was excited that I finally got it. Looking back is when you can see what God was doing and how He was there all the way through. Everything I ever did, He has used for His glory. I was allowed free will, and He knew all the wrong choices I would make. He also knew this part of the plan. I would be able to relate to the addict, the abused, the lost, and the broken because I was once all of that. He has restored me to the person that He created me to be. I am the daughter, granddaughter, sister, wife, and friend that He meant for me to be. He knows I'm a brat. He knows I'm a princess. He also knows I love Him like crazy.
Amen.
He knew that I was going to make a lot of mistakes and that I still did. He knows I'm a work in progress. He has a plan for each one of you, but you have to surrender everything. I'm not a Bible scholar and I don't have a degree in theology, but what I do know is if you just get close enough to touch the hem of His garment, He'll heal you.